I wanted to ask you because I know last time we did an interview, right? I know you have a bar at your house, at your home.
I
You have a
do.
bar. You're a wine expert as well, so you enjoy having a drink here and there, right?
Yeah.
What is your take on how to balance your life with having a drink and also work out and be healthy? Like, what is the rule on that? Like, I mean, how many drinks a week do you think a person can have, or like, what's the is I hear somewhere it's healthy to drink wine every day in moderation, like a glass of
And
wine.
wine, they say your wine, red wine, one a day. They says okay. Even um, even when you go and you go to your treatment or however, and I'll be honest with you, I had at one point in time I had a situation like that. I have PTSD, and all those things are collaborated together with PTSD, depression, anxiety, alcoholism, so many different things. And I found out being in those facilities that more things that I thought I could ever even wonder about. And that was alcoholism was one of those, because a lot of the people that were in there, they were uh, being treated for two or three different things. And they say one a day is okay. At one point in time, when I was at my worst, I was drinking, and what they did for me was they gave me these pills, which makes drinking just terrible for you, right? But that was me at my worst, but still acting 100% functional and doing the things that I do, right? So I have thousands of bottles of wine. I have hundreds of bottles of top shelf liquors, and it's not a problem for me. I know how to balance that. If I have one, I don't have one a day. Me personally, I'll have one maybe a week or maybe once every month. I mean, I don't let that get involved with me like that. But what I do is, if I'm gonna do that, I have to make sure that I do the right thing as far as my blood work and my levels checked, seeing if it's going up or down or however, especially if you're taking some type of medication. Alcohol and medication just does not mix, and it can be lethal on that part. So that's the one thing that I will tell people, and just not to become so complacent. You know, when they say, oh, well, I'll drink 2 bottles of wine a day, or I drink a bottle of wine a day. And it's a hard thing. Unfortunately, that was one of the complications with my brother before he passed away was drinking. So
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Now you mentioned PTSD, right? And this, from what I understand, it's a huge problem, especially for former military personnel, right? How did you deal with it? I mean, you had to seek help in order to kind of recover from it. And does it ever come back? Is it a thing you have to constantly work on?
so there's no such thing as I had PTSD. You know, I've heard people say, "Well, I've had PSTD." I'm like, shut the, just be quiet. Just stop right then and there. There's no had. You know, and people, it's a stigma that comes with PTSD, and that's one of the reasons why I came out as a big guy, saying it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay not to get some type of support, right? Even now with the evacuation of and retreat of Kabul, the suicide hotlines for the military have went up astronomically, right? People don't understand how severe and how it affects other people. The people that's on social media, you think about the people that's not on social media. They just look at the news and whatnot. It's something that you have to. I had to find my way. I was in an inpatient for 6 months, another inpatient for 6 months. I was an outpatient for a year, and it was hard. And you're talking about somebody who's working at a 100%, 110% level as far as who I'm working for and how I'm working. You have to be functional. It's kind of like they call it a functional alcoholic, right? Being functional person with PTSD, with a hair trigger. And I kept it that way until my very end. I was called out by one of my senior leaders, general, who I got really upset because I saw and he saw, and I actually kind of knew when I was tracking, because I'm a big guy and I've done a lot of different things in my military career, happy and not happy about. But I'm also, people don't know, I'm also a combative fighter and trainer. They think that I'm just a chef. I just look good in a chef's outfit. But in layman's term, I'll whoop your ass. I'm just joking. I'm not joking, but it's serious. It's serious because I was actually snapping at the time, and it comes in different forms of fashion, and it doesn't have to come from war. It can come bullying. It can come from social media. It can come from sexual trauma. It can come from just overworking. It can come from so many different things, and people process it differently. And some people, unfortunately, are just a little bit weaker. When I say weaker, is more sensitive than others. Some people don't know how to deal with it. And sometimes you gotta be, I mean, even myself, I still go to therapy. I still, at what I'm doing right now, I still have to go to therapy, and I still have to keep on my P's and Q's, because you never know. Me being in this platform, which I would never be, I'm an introvert. I'm an intro extro. So when I get on social media and I have thousands of people coming at me saying 2 hours of sleep, and you're so-and-so, and you're a D, or you're this, or you're an N-word, or you're whatever, I'm shaking, because I'm like, let me get a hold of them. That's my first, as a man, that's my first instinct, saying all these cowards to me. So I have to keep myself in check. And so that's why I do so much to keep other people in check. And that's why I say that, sometimes people need to think that it's their kids or their friends or their loved ones, parents, spouses, whoever that may be going through something, while they're the person that's attacking the next person, because you can save a life. It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever confronted a hater in person?
Have I ever confronted? You still see me here, right? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just going to be very, very, very frank with you. A situation happened to me where I did something, and it's kind of with Arnold's situation, where I said something, and out of 5 hours of taping, they only took this much.
What'd you say?
Right? I'm sorry?
What did you say?
So it's about me sleeping, about I work a lot. And when I say I work a lot, people don't understand. And I'll be honest with you, Vlad. I didn't know people until in the last couple of years didn't have the same work habits. In the military, law enforcement, doctors, people don't understand the sleep pattern or the sleep habits, or however that work situation, or even with PTSD, or even if it's a medical issue, right? So if I eat a lot, I have to eat a lot. If I sleep a little bit of time, that's whatever. But someone wanted to capitalize off of that with social media, and they did that. And that's not a problem. I understand social media, but what happened was somebody put thousands of bots, but that's not a problem either. But the only thing with the bots was that they had hate slurs and racial slurs that came with them. And so the caveat that they said, I call them racist. Me, a guy from Mississippi, called them racist because I said, hey, and finally what I did was I said to this person, I DM'd him, I said, hey, get it, social media, your views, whatever, but I'm going to let you know something, and I'm going to let you listen to me very carefully. If one person, because what I was getting threats to my kids, to me, saying I'm going to kill you.
But it's because of what? Because you said you sleep 2 hours a day over that statement?
Yes. So that's that. Yeah, that's literally, that's why. Right? It was literally came from that, which I was like, how did this turn into racial slurs? Yeah, and I was confused. I'm like, how am I getting all these racial slurs from this? I mean, it was like, it just showed me how people are. I mean, it literally went, when I say thousands, I mean thousands, but then it went to the death threats. And then it went to this. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? And I said to the person, I said, hey, I get it. Views, money, understood. But I said, if one person comes to me or my family, that's a wrap. And I'm gonna make sure that you're held accountable for it. If one person, and I say people, don't come up to any celebrity or any person of influence, especially if you know they've been through a situation or whatever, if you're trying to, because you're gonna get some little kid or somebody that's gonna be like, wanna be famous on social media, and they're gonna walk up to a person. Don't ever walk up to me. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're 10 feet tall or 500 pounds. Don't ever walk up to me in that type of form or fashion. It's just not good, because I could have my kids with me, or I could be in a situation, or it could be any type of form. And that's not me being threatening anyone. I'm just saying that's a reality, because you never know what a person might do on social media. And you never know what a person might have, because I mean, I'm authorized to have these 2 guns. Actually, I have authorized to have 4. But it's just the truth of the matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Social media is definitely a gift and a curse, right? That's what I keep hearing from everybody I talk to. It's just, it's very hostile place too, like very negative place with the comments and everything.
It is. But like I said, again, that's an individual person. And I don't understand why we have to be that way. Why we have to stand alone and we have to tag team and group up on people so we can feel good about ourselves because we're insufficient, or we can't work harder, or we can't get bigger, or we can't do the things. Won't you just put in the effort, put in the time, put in the work, right? Or turn that much effort you're doing into something positive. Start a business. I mean, hell, I'll show you how to open an LLC or do your own nonprofit or do something that's going to be meaningful with your life. I even tell people all the time, and unfortunately, I get it from all demographics. I even get it from the military people who don't even know me. They're like, Chef is so fake now. He got a little this and got a little that. I'm like, you don't even know me. You haven't even looked at my platform or what I do, because I only show this much on social media, because I don't want to be the person like, oh, I want to have the kids. Oh, I want to have these people. I want to have these people. I don't do that. What I do is organic, and what I do is from the heart. Whether I make 1 cent or whether I make $1,000, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm okay with that. I'm content with that. And now my mindset is I don't worry about anybody on social media when they say, "Oh shit, why are you blocking everybody?" Because it's my freedom to block everybody. I'm not gonna waste my time talking to you anymore.
Yeah, it's I agree with 100%. And it's interesting, like, obviously the bigger the person is, the more comments they get, or the more, but it's like sometimes they get the more hate too, and you have to deal
It's
with it,
true.
I guess, right? And it's just
And sometimes it's if you do the dumbest, you get the most out of it, But if you do the most positive things, you get the least from it. So I try to figure out how I can be positive and get the most from it with doing things in a positive atmosphere where people realize, because as those people that are so confident or so cocky or so all over the top, if they use their platform instead of trying to get those likes and views and that monetary thing, which is fine with that, trust me, it's about life, it's about living and all that good stuff. But at the same time, if you could just take that 1% of that organic relationship and have it and put it to something positive, you can get so much more out of it, self-right out of it, like literally. Like you're doing, like Eric Trainer's doing, like even like Arnold was doing. I mean, I've seen Arnold do a million things that he does not show on social media that people don't know. I had no idea. I'm thinking the governor, I'm thinking a movie star, I'm thinking a bodybuilder, but then I didn't know all the other things that he did under the radar that he asked for no accolades about or gets nothing from in return. Now, again, that's not me taking up. That's just the truth of the matter. Just like yourself, we don't have to go out and show everything we do. And even myself, people like, Chef, you need to show more of the stuff you're doing because you truly are organic with it. Like, no, I don't want to show that. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to exploit or whatever. But the truth of the matter is that I know I have to, because at the same time, positive energy brings positive energy. The energy feeds energy, and that's what it's all about.